Which are you? Oh,
Oh, halito.
wala. Nyakit, Janet.
Nyakit Janet. Chris.
Stongo.
Strong Huntsty Huntedish.
Esche. Oshkin Yacha.
Kunamante.
Kunamante. Halito. Sio. Gwena. Mariwaka.
Madiwaka.
Ansti Hunterish. Kikadoos. Good morning. Good morning. In a good way like that.
Yep. In a good way like that.
Today we're going to try something new. After everything we say, we're going to end it with in a good way like cat.
That. DAT.
Like that. In a good way like that. Well, coming live from 1950 South Shepherd here in El Reno in a good way like that. Where you been at, Mingo?
Oh, I've been around.
In a good way like that?
Yeah. In a good way like that. Canadian County.
Supposed to say everything in a good way like that.
In a good way like that.
Well, we had a very cool day yesterday. Got to do 3 different live streams. We kind of got a vulgar comment in a good way like that.
Yeah.
You know, on YouTube, Mr. Z went on our live broadcast, put something kind of vulgar on there, you know, in a good way like that. But, you know, the show must go on. I remember seeing it come across the screen and I was just like, shout out to Mr. Z in a good way like that. And you know, we just kept going. But, you know, I guess the first thing that came to mind was, well, I guess Trump did get elected.
Yeah.
In a good way like that.
The cast.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of vulgar, but you know, I've been called worse. Believe it or not, yeah. I've been called worse in a good way like that. So it wasn't nothing new to me. Good morning, Nay Nay, in a good way like that.
Oh.
Well, what do we have going on today in a good way like that?
Yeah, what do we got going on today?
Talking circles later on tonight in a good way like
Thursday.
that.
In a good way like that.
Good way like that. Yeah, in a good way like that. Oh, men's health. I mean,
It's
how many meetings have y'all had? I mean, I'm just curious. Carmelo's heading that, spearing that.
fourth. In a good way like that.
In a good way like that. Good morning, Cindy, Miss Cindy.
Good morning.
I love you, Miss Cindy. I hope you're having a good day in a good way like that. Yeah, it's kind of funny too. Around here at the office, I mean, you know, we got Miss Janet Pratt. She's pregnant with twins. Good morning, Theta Orange, in a good way like that. Possum Fletcher. Good morning. Good morning. But it's kind of funny that we come in one day and everyone's like, you know, she's getting ready to have the babies.
Yeah.
And everyone's like talking about what she's dilated to in a good way like that.
Yeah. What is she today? In a good way like that.
And it was just kind of funny that when I see her, I'm like, you know, everybody knows what you're like dilated to in a good way like that. You know, it was pretty funny. I mean, pretty funny. Just the everyday conversations that go on around here in a good way like that. Good morning, brother Drew. In a good way like.
Good one, that Drew.
Uh,
Uh,
my nephew, he had a game the other day
Oh yeah, Hammond.
against Visay. I guess they came back and won. You know, Visay. You think a small school just because it's a small school?
They don't know, but
Yeah, like
they,
no, they be
legit.
balling at them little schools. You know, I mean, look at Calumet. You know, good morning.
Oh,
Good
they
morning,
Calumet.
Janet.
Uh,
In a good way like that,
laugh out
Janet.
loud in a good way like that.
What are you feeling like today? Everybody drop your
Man,
guesstimate.
God, quit it.
In a good way like that. But
Really? Auntie?
in a good way like that.
Oh, morning, sister.
Yeah, in a good
In a
way
good way
like
like that. Oh,
that.
oh, Thomas beat the #1 team last Friday.
They beat Mangum.
Mango.
I believe it was Mangum. I heard it was a hell of a game. Like went down to the wire.
In a good way like that.
Get a baby boy going, gamble
By your squares.
in a good way like
Yeah,
that.
in a good way.
In a good way like that. Good morning, Phyllis the realist.
Oh, Phyllis.
In a good way like that. You know, we're trying. Oh, Amic, brown sugar.
Number
In
two.
a good way like that.
Mr. Hamilton.
Mister, no. Don't do my bro like that. Good morning, Desiree. In a good way like that. We're trying to get this thing going where after everything we say, we're gonna say in a good way like that, in a good way like that. You know, good morning, Nadina. In a good way like that. So you know, we're just trying to keep this thing going. Is there any more like what else we got coming up in a good way? Like oh, Mr. Larry Tane. Mr. Larry Tane, let me send you
Larry Tane in a good way.
let me send you this so you can put it on the
Oh yeah, but tomorrow, yeah, tomorrow is the Buffalo Culture Awareness Day.
will you look at the flyer I just sent you?
So
Yes. I told him that because it was for the vets. They have a veterans
excuse me.
they have a veterans event coming up in a good way like that. And he was just wanting to know like can you because he hit me up last night after I got home from the sweat. Well, I didn't see the message until after the sweat in a good way like that.
Mm.
So, you know, I just told him that you know, I think we became those guys, you know,
Yeah,
in a good way like
in a
that.
good way like that.
Where if somebody's having an event, I mean,
Could be
they
Sharon.
yeah, they want. Good morning, Sharon, Renee, Bortis, Hall,
Oh, produce
Bobby,
Mary Faye.
in a good way like that.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah, we got to
Ah.
download it.
What y'all?
Well, it was just a
Fetch.
request, you know. I told
Special
Mr.
request,
Larry
Larry
Tane that
Tane.
we would in a good way like that. Bob is watching in a good way like that. Mado. Yeah. I just want to see what it is, and if you could read it to me. He just told me it was a veterans.
Can you zoom in on it?
It was a veterans event in a good way like that.
Cast.
Today from 8:30 to 3:30.
Today
Was
from
Connie
8:30 to 3:30
Kingfisher?
in Anadarko. They're having a
Anadarko.
veterans event. Breakfast, lunch.
They're gonna get blankets, haircuts.
Giving away blankets, kind of like a stand down,
Stand down.
kind of like a stand down that they do around here, but I guess it's with the Kiowa tribe.
Yeah. Down
So you know, with the Wichitas.
in Anadarko.
Well, I know Larry's Kiowa, so in a good way
Good
like
way,
that. You know,
today at 8 to 5.
8 to 3:30.
Oh, 8.
8:30 to
3:30.
3:30 at the gym in Anadarko. They're having a, I guess, what would it be called? A veterans resource event. So if you're a veteran in the Dodge area, go over there to the gym. They'll get they got free breakfast, lunch. You can get a haircut, kind of like a stand down that they do around here, but got to get the word out. About people trying to make a difference in their
Indian
community.
Lakes. Way to go.
In a good way like that.
Huh.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Well, what else we got, Mingo? In a good way like
Oh,
that.
should we go ahead and jump in this meditation?
Yes, in a good way like
Good
that.
way like that. All right. Oh, quick. Oh, Suda's 11 months today.
Oh, in a good way like
Yeah.
that. All right, Denise Suda.
Suda. So today, November 7th, we're in the fall. It says abuse and repression. Repression. Abuse and repression have no place in a traditional family.
Give me another.
Haida Gwaii. Traditional circle of elders. Traditional families, guided by their culture, were taught how to live. They were taught about relationships, respect, and spirituality. Only since school was introduced to Indians, we have seen physical abuse, sexual abuse, and verbal abuse. These behaviors have no room in traditional families. The cycle of abuse must be broken during this generation. We do this by asking for help to quit drinking and abusing and return to our original culture and spirituality. Maheo, plant inside of me the knowledge of the traditional family. Oh,
In a good way like
a
that.
good way like that.
Mado. Mingo for reading that.
Mm-hmm. Pass it on to you with
In a good way
a
like
good
that.
way like that.
Um, what comes to mind is being in a home where that physical and mental abuse was going on. I understand my mom, she became a mother when she was 15. Well, she got pregnant when she was 15, had my brother Tracer when she was 16. She never really had that time to grow up. She's like went from a teenager. Her dad passed away when she was 13. You know, and that completely like she didn't know how to deal with that trauma. So, by the time she's 15, she gets pregnant. Uh and she has Tracer when she's 16, and then had Eddie when she was 17. Back to back. And her husband was like 20 something years old, and he was a good guy. I knew him for a long time. He was a real good guy. We had a pretty cool relationship, even though he's my brother's dad, and I don't think my mom ever gave herself a chance to heal from, the trauma of losing her dad. So, my grandma ends up taking custody of Eddie and Tracer. And then my brother Brandon came along, and then I was next. And then Drew and Marty. And it was just kind of like when Eddie and Tracer are like 10 years older than me. So like by the time I'm like 8 and 9, like they're already like leaving the house. And I would have to say those were like the guys that were like our dads. I mean, they were our brothers, but Eddie was the one that showed compassion, and Tracer was the one that made us, he wanted us to do the right thing. And after they left the house, it was just kind of like, you know, um, I understand that my mom was struggling, She was also had her addictions. The help that's available today definitely, was unheard of back then. And I remember it was explained to me by one of my aunts that striking a child was like a bad thing in our culture. You know, it was a real bad thing. So, that's why they always try to come get me. That's why they always, I could go up to their house anytime I wanted. I mean, I basically lived up on the hill. I mean, it was like it's like people understood what was going on at home. Cause like every day one of us would get busted up, in a good way like that. Once a day one of us was catching it. And it was on like I'm talking like on a whole nother level. Like I've had my nose busted, whenever I was 5 years old. I remember getting my head slapped and my face busting on the table and me bleeding all over my supposed to have been my homework. Like that was I mean, and I also understand now that, my mom was just struggling. I don't think she quite received that kind of abuse. But, being on the receiving end of that, you come to this understanding that there's like you come to this understanding that that's just the way people are supposed to. I love my mom. I don't want anybody else to be my mom. Like I love my mom. And you just kind of expect like people that love you to do you that way. It's like you build up this thing in your head that it doesn't matter what a person does to you. They must love you. You know what I mean? Like, so that kind of like messed up my process of what love's supposed to look like. You know what I mean? Like, I just thought women were supposed to hurt you. You know what I mean? Like, it built up like this twisted, um, I guess, a twisted thought process of how love was supposed to go in my life. So it just created this it just created like this twisted version of what happiness was supposed to be. And from that, I use that as my excuse to go through life and treat people the way that I did. I treated people bad. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't not only was I not good to them, I wasn't good to myself either. you know and I could use that as an excuse to justify my actions. I was just a product of my environment. But after knowing right from wrong and going through life, and that excuse gets old. That excuse gets real old, real quick. That somebody did me this way, so now I'm gonna act just like. I would bring myself down to that level where it wasn't about. It was always about getting even. You know, wasn't no. I wasn't born to take no L's. You know what I mean? Like, and what that led to was a lifelong struggle of pain and heartache. You know, I remember seeing people living these good lives. I remember seeing a lot of people. Uh, Drew said he caught it from all of it. Should be tough. Yeah, in a good way like
In a
that.
good way.
But I remember, you know, uh, I guess seeing what a normal family, if you want to call it normal, would look like, and nobody was hitting nobody. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't all these like when me and my brothers and sister would fight, like they were knocked
Yeah.
down dragouts. You know what I mean? Like we were out for blood. Like
WWF.
man, it was worse.
cage match. Yeah.
Yeah, like it got bad, being chased around with a knife. Yeah.
Ah, they
Yeah.
lost.
One time Drew was chasing us with the machete, throwing it at us.
What?
Yeah. Like that's how mad we would get at each other.
Ah,
But I felt like that all
mhm.
came from the abuse we were going through. That came from somebody calling us stupid every day. Somebody telling us that, we're not worthy enough. We're not, we're this, we're that. You know, uh you come up believing those things, and then like I would get the same beating for spilling Kool-Aid as I would for drinking. You know what I mean? Like it was the same whooping every time. So you just have it in your head, like no matter what happens, like I'm about to catch it. You know what I mean? So I might as well make it worth it
In a good way. Like,
in a good way like that. So the first time I was taken home for being drunk, I was 11 years old. I was 11 years old the first time police took me home for being drunk. I was 11. My mom worked me over again in a good way like that, but and I could use, well, I'm just a product of my environment. But I knew right from wrong from the jump. I knew right from wrong. And I still chose to go find out the hard way. I think that's like one of the native things is you can tell me and tell me and tell me, but I'm always going to go find out the hard way. No matter what, it doesn't matter what you tell me. I'm going to go find out the hard way because I have to see for myself what y'all are talking about, because I don't get this, I have people talk at me my whole life, and it just didn't make no sense, for me to listen to, you don't know my life. You don't know what I'm going through. So your words, I just wasn't smart enough, to realize, to put the pieces together, to realize that, man, I'm headed down the wrong path. So it just seemed like the abuse, the repression, it was just a part of way of life for me. It just became so natural to me that that's just the way the world was. The world's always against me. When all it was I have a mind that works against me. When I wanted change, that had to come from within. That had to be something that I had to find inside here. I couldn't turn to drugs. I couldn't turn to alcohol. I couldn't turn to, my codependency would show up. If I didn't have those two, then I turned to and tried to fill that void with another person, in a good way like that. And what happened was more pain and heartache. You know, uh, I think about all we send a lot of we send a lot of people to California. And I see a lot of them going to these 420 friendly places. You know what I mean? Like when you come home, then what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like none of these places allow that. That's not part of, and
Our way.
that's not our way. That's not who we are. And we're trying to get in touch with ourselves, but we're sitting at a 420 place just constantly smoking weed. Nobody working a program. You're going to the Magic House and you're trying to recruit other natives to come to a 420. Man, that's not cool. That's not our way.
Take that out. Take
Um,
that over there.
yeah, in a good way like that. It's just not only are we capable of abusing other people, but the most we can ever do to ourselves is like that's the easy way. You know what I mean? Like the easy way is to get loaded. The easy way is to go to a 420 friendly place. The easy way is to get on drugs. The easy way is to say I'm a product of my environment. There's no accountability. Where's that's got to be like one of your number one things when you get into sobriety is where is your accountability? You know, where is you know, who are these people that y'all are getting mixed up with that has you think that smoking weed is like a way out? You know, like what? That's crazy to me. You know, that's why I love Wellbriety. It talks about all addictions. You know, alcohol and drug use. You know, because I think you know it's just very important. I don't know why I've been thinking this lately in a good way like that, but you know, I'm probably getting way off. I'm going on a tangent now. You know,
going in a good way like that.
but you know, um, it just it's just been something that's been on my mind constantly. You know, seeing my people go out there, seeing my people, you know, have a chance at a good life, and then somebody's there saying, "No, you can come smoke weed over here,
Yeah.
and you'll be all right." You know, that's not sober, bro. You know, like that's not our way. You know, so you know, I'm glad that you're off the major, you know, the bad, you know, but whoever's telling you that smoking weed and calling it sober is okay, you know, man, I gotta say a prayer for them. You know, I gotta send some good vibes that way. You know, I gotta, you know, hope that they find a solution that doesn't involve any kind of mind changer. You know, so if you're out there in California and you think California sober is a way, I promise you, you're in trouble. You know, I promise you that you are definitely going down. You're definitely going down the wrong path. You know, find you a program that promotes complete abstinence from any mind changer. We got a guy coming back today, I believe. They asked him, "What have you been doing?" You know, he said, "I just been sitting back at the house and smoking weed all day." And he's coming back because he can't. He was in the program. Nothing was happening, and now he's coming back with the same problems that he left with. You know, and I mean that change has got to come from within. You know, that's gotta be a conscious decision that you got to make on your own. You know, so I know I got
No.
way off track
Sharon
in a
said,
good
"No, you're
way
not,
like that.
Barry." In a good way like that.
But yeah, put the
Yeah,
meditation back
abuse and
up.
repression have no
But
place.
anyways, back to when I was getting my butt whooped. Nah, in a
Yeah,
good way like that.
face down with the machete.
But I like so sorry to hear that you had to go through this as at a young age. This explains a lot. Thank you for sharing. Ooh, wow. Thank you, Nadine, in a good way like that. That's my kid's grandma.
Mm. It's get-
So I don't know what she means by that. Explains a lot.
in a good
In a
way.
good way like
Good
that.
way like that.
But you know, I can't lie about my story. You know, I got to tell my story no matter what happened to me, where I was, what happened, and where I'm at now. You know,
Mm.
it makes a difference in a good way like that. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and pass it on because now I'm just rambling
Mm.
in a good way like
Good way like that. Oh, uh, Auntie Corinne was back. She was about to say. We about to say, hey, China,
that.
reggae Auntie.
Go ahead, Mingo.
What's up?
Who
Oh,
beat you up?
hey,
Yeah.
South side.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's elementary.
Late bloomer, huh? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Let them have it. Abuse and
Abuse.
repression have no place in a traditional family.
Haida.
How do you feel about that, Mingo?
Oh, it's, I believe it's just what it says. No. I heard something like even in the early 1800s, they never warriors and moms never beat their kids. Never beat the kids growing up. So why does it got to be now? Now with these last generation. So I believe it's not right, and it's not our way. Because that could cause, like you said, that could cause that tree to be abusive, sexual, verbal, alcoholism, and all that can just that tree can get bigger and bigger and just fall into the next generation. It carries on. It's normal, becomes normal, and it can just keep going and going. But how we talked about with Don Coyce, how he talked about breaking that healing, breaking that cycle and then healing, because it's always going to be there, but we can heal together. So I believe that this traditional family, or you got to work from the inside out, with each other, and uh, you know generational healing. So I believe that will help, re- help get knock out the abuse and repression and all that. So that's how I feel about it. It's
Say it.
in a good way, like that.
My auntie
No
Corinne
weed,
said,
no cigarettes.
Mr. L. Ron Burns said, 100%
Colonizing.
sobriety is the best. I love it. No weed, no cigarettes, no alcohol. Appreciate you.
Oh, Mary Faye
We are having our first Wellbriety 12 step uh, today
at noon.
at noon
Oh,
today.
I will pray for
Yeah,
you.
say a little prayer for you. Our goal is to start our Wellbriety training circle in January. That's awesome. That is
Good
awesome.
way like that.
2025 in a
Oh.
good way like that.
Mm.
Congratulations, Mary Faye.
Yeah, to the Pawnee, to
Yes, the
all the
Pawnee
tribes around
Nation,
there.
all the surrounding tribes. I mean, that's definitely a blessing. So, definitely gonna send some prayers your way. I mean, that's amazing. That's what we need more of, and just proud of you, sister. Keep going, keep going. It's like it kind of seems never ending, but at the same time, I mean, people are noticing, people are understanding what we're talking about. Now, when we say Wellbriety,
Hmm.
people, it like the cat's out the bag. We are we are we're coming to this understanding that there's got to be some type of healing going on in our communities, and not to say like there's not good people out there, and but people that are struggling in silence. I mean, it just becomes like let's find some healing. Let's find a solution. We all know what the problem is. Let's find a solution. And Miss Natalie Hardrow says abuse was often confused and justified as discipline whenever I was a child. There's always a better way to instill discipline without wielding a rod. Scripture even says, spread, spread. So there was the introduction to these ideas.
So quiet.
My daily shot.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, sister. Oh, dope.
Appreciate that, Nat. Culture is the solution. It's I don't know. To me, that's like a slippery slope.
Hmm.
Because I'm just now finding this way of life. I'm just now real like my older kids. I'm not gonna lie. They caught hell from me. My ideal of discipline. And I'm happy to say that my two younger, don't even know. I guarantee you, they don't even know what a whooping is. My granddaughter, she was bothering something on my table, and I'm like, no, don't do that. and she started crying.
Uh,
I mean, like she was just, like, like, and I'm like, oh my god, like, yeah, in a good way, like, and it's just like I'm so, you just see that innocence, and you want them to hold on to that. I think to me that's what it turned. That's the lesson that I've learned is that children are have this innocence about them. And man, mine got taken pretty early, because of all the abuse. I would go to school and I would fight anybody and everybody. I was mean. I was mean. I felt like I had to take it out on people. That's how I dealt with everything. A good part of my life. So, you know, uh, to find a new way, I think it's amazing. To come to this understanding today that, man, I don't even know if I could get mad at anybody today. Like it's not on my heart, to turn to anger anymore. That's where a lot of I reacted because I had this fear based life that for me to counter that I had to get mad. I was scared a lot. You know, I was scared. There's a lot of things I didn't know how to handle. So to me, finding this new way of life has been golden. It really helps out to know that there is a solution out there. So
yeah,
with that, I'm gonna quit rambling
in a good way like that.
in a good way like that.
I hope.
Yeah. Go ahead, brother. Give it to him.
Uh, coming coming from 1950 South Shepherd. Yeah. In a good way like that. All right, we'll get into these announcements. Talkspace, ages 13 and up. It's a free online therapist you can speak to. You can chit chat on the text anytime, anywhere, and 2 30-minute videos a month. So we got what 600 spots to fill up, 650, But yeah, it's free through us. So remember, Talkspace /CHATOR, and passphrase is the or
Restore where it
passphrase
says
is restore,
organization.
and
You're gonna put restore in there and get it
restore,
for free.
restore. Shout out to Brand Logics. Text tour to 888-580-4tour for any updates of our Gord Clans dances coming up or any events. Tomorrow is Buffalo Culture Day at the Respect Gym in Concho. Starts at 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So for what, sixth grade and up. So y'all's more than
It
welcome.
might be cold.
Yeah, it might be cold.
Supposed to be storming tomorrow.
Yeah,
So I
good,
mean,
Buffalo.
may not get a Buffalo tour in, but just the experience. I mean, I do got a big back in a good way like that.
Good way. But we'll have some food, culture, dancing, and games, and just learn about the Cheyenne Arapaho culture and about the buffalo and all that. So if you come on out, starts at 9 a.m. at the Concho Respect Gym. And then Saturday is the memorial dance for Tony Pawnee at Clinton ERC. Go dance at 2, supper at 5, and come dance and come shake your gourd and snap them fringes and memorial for Tony Pawnee and Isaac Rhodes and the family. Dance class and Reggae and
Rugged Auntie.
hosting another dance class on November 13th, Wednesday, at the Concho ERC, 6:30 to 8:30.
Yes, and a meal will be
Yeah.
provided potluck style.
They're having a gourd dance, traditional dance, women's cloth,
It's a great idea, Auntie.
northern southern cloth. So
Keep it up.
the niece
Keep it up.
Samantha, the brother Nick Hamilton will be singing. So come on out. Brother Kendrick Sleeper will be demonstrating the gourd dance and explaining the history. So, like I said, if you know your grandkids or kids or any adults,
Even you. Yeah, even
any
you.
adults that want to first start out, learn about it first.
Never too late.
Come on out and learn and experience the culture. Raw recovery action wellness is raw.
Every action wellness
This
at
is
Life Church.
Is a good program. Susan Stacy, she will be a recovery speaker at these Raw launching, and it'll be celebrating Native American Heritage Month. It'll be at the Shawnee Life Church in Shawnee, so just north of I-40. So it'll be Thursday, November 14th. Starts at 9 a.m., 11 a.m. to
11?
1, and lunch will be provided. Register.
Got to
first.
register.
Register.
Scan the QR code down there at the
Yep.
bottom and register. It's not like a big long process. You just got to register to
So you can get a
lock
meal.
in your meal
Yep.
free. And then all nations, just cut them off.
Hey, hold on. Hey, take it away, brother.
All Nations Well Variety Speaker Night
Good way like that.
with the lovely and amazing Natalie Oshkenyecha Harjo. November 21st, we will be serving a meal at 6. And the meeting will be from 7 to 8 here at 1950 South Shepherd in El Reno. And we will be having a live stream. So, if you can't make it, tune in with us. She has a great story. She's a white bison facilitator trainer. So, she's been a resident of El Reno lately. So, she's from Seminole. She's Creek Seminole. So, she's from the Alabama grounds. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited for her. Pretty excited for her.
Come on
In
now.
a good way like that.
Ah.
I might make my cake then. That would be worth making my cake. But go ahead. I'll give it back to you. Go ahead.
Natalie said somebody cut me off at 8 p.m. LL. Yeah.
Yeah. She'd be like, and then whenever I was 5, oh, it's time to go. In a good way like that.
JOM powwow at Weatherford Middle School is the 23rd, November 23rd, at the Weatherford Middle School. That we're going to be having Terry Lindsay as our honored educator. Shake your gourds. It'll be junior and teen categories for the powwow. So bring your kids out, come dance and snap them fringes. Circle of Giving is coming up on December 7th. So don't forget our dance at Gary, Give Miles Memorial ERC, and there'll be
Started the music again.
there's a special session that day, so just FYI. But as soon as they're done, we'll be there ready to set it up and start. So come on out. And these are some of the dances we'll be doing: a social, the Circle of Giving contest, and social dances. So come on out, bring your family, come have a good time. There is hat and shawl, princess, hash dance, sash. I can't see.
In a good way like
In
that.
a good way, like I got my glasses on.
In a good way like that.
But yeah,
It is
come
pretty
on,
small.
yeah. Gore dance at 2, supper at 5 on December 7th at Gary Give Miles ERC. And then they're still doing the nominations for Circle of Giving. So if you know any res kids that that need that support for their parents or guardians suffering with addiction, so sign them up.
In a good way like that.
Our Well Variety meetings, Mondays are Mending Mondays here at 1950 South Shepherd at 7. And then 2 for Tuesdays, Talking Circle at Clinton Library, 721 Frisco Avenue. Starts at 7. And these informal gatherings at Watonga, North South Street, or at the Hut.
Well, they haven't been having them lately.
Oh.
Not enough community support.
Oh, man. Yeah. Well,
Well, I mean, we haven't really been saying it. But there wasn't no community showing up. So I mean, George Hawkins, I don't know why.
yeah.
But George Hawkins quit going. That was like their meeting.
Yeah.
Like I didn't understand that. They need AA just as much as they need Well Bright.
Right. Well, we'll get back to that. But Thursday is our Talking Circles here at 1950 South Shepherd at 7 o'clock.
Tonight,
smudging at 6:30. Then Friday is our 12-step meeting at 7 here at 1950 South Shepherd. and it's a good deep dive into the 12 step. And it don't matter what step you're on, you can just come on over. We
Yeah.
you know, every Friday, so come on and bring, and they'll work with you.
And shout out to Mr. Levi. I mean, David Levi.
Ooh, brother.
To me, he's doing like we were having this conversation last night, and I told him, like, to me, he's doing the real work of recovery. You know, he gets to help people, you know, put a plan together and what their recovery, you know, what does your recovery look like? You know, he gets to do all these different kinds of therapies. Like, to me, he's got the boots on the ground and getting into like recovery on a whole nother level. So, you know, shout out to Mr. Levi in a good way like
Ooh,
that.
brother. Zeke the Freak. He will be speaking
November 6th. Today? Yesterday. Where did he speak at?
Redlands.
Oh,
he was on the panel. He spoke
that's
about
right. I was there.
his
I
engagement.
got caught out, but yeah, I was there.
And then, but on November 20th, we'll be at Apache
Apache
Casino.
Casino.
He'll be speaking, and then December 2nd, Monday at El Reno Public Schools. So come on out, check out Zeke the Freak.
Well, we appreciate everyone, you know, tuning in with us.
Lean with it.
Lean
with it. Rock with
it.
Yeah, let me tell you.
Well, he's dancing for you, Rain.
Rain dance or what?
Rain dance? In a good way like that.
Good way like that.
All right. Well, we appreciate everybody that tuned in today. You know, we try to, you know, get on early. I can't remember what we're doing. Oh, the men's health meeting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we got a meeting to go to. Having these meetings because it's always the same, like the same result when we're like, what did y'all get done? We still need money.
We need funds.
Yeah, like, okay, so let's have another meeting next month about how much money we need. But, you know, I guess you got to start somewhere.
Yeah,
So
it's light year work.
So you know, we appreciate everybody that tuned in. Just happy we get the opportunity. So with that, we're gonna say aho in a good way, like